Hey everybody. Right, as I mentioned on the last video, I was going to be moving on to brake because I had a seized caliper on this side. So what I'm going to put new calipers on this car. I've got them. And so then I'm going to recon these and show you how it all works. So you'll be able to see. And I mean, I'm just going to go over some bits and pieces. But what I'm going to go over first for you, if we get down here. Right, I've got a jack under this car. And also I've got two axle stands, you can see. You know, I mean, if I wanted it, I can probably point it out. There's one here, and there's one here. Right? And the importance of that is that you're not ending up in a box. Because if you get under this thing and they fall on you, you've no second chances. It's not going to jump off you and say, oh, I'm sorry, you're toast. So it's very, very important, something like that, before we even start. And another thing that's very important, get yourself masked up. Because a lot of these old braking systems, like this car was lost on road mid-70s, so these will be original pads in here. Well, they might contain asbestos, so make sure you're masked up and you're keeping yourself safe. And now we'll go around. Like I said, these are what we're going to bob on. So I'm on front first, and also, because this wheel has got horrendously hot yesterday, because I dropped her back to the yard, and now I finished up, I walked on because she was smoking on wheel. So obviously it's melted grease, you can see here. And but let's put this light back here, try and get us a bit of light in, because let's see, here we go, that's probably better. Right, now what I've done here, look, I've got pads out, right, and both pistons were relatively seized. I think that's the problematic one, it don't want to go back in. So what I've done, I've just shoved, I had padding this side, I've shoved that's just a piece of 6mm bar. Now what that is, that's just off an old, it's what I thought spit, I think Mac Tool Jag that's for. So it's what I used to fasten onto Mac Tool Jags, and then we used to go from there. So that's keeping that side in while I push this piston out. The reason I've done that while I've got hydraulics linked on is because it'll save a lot more aggravation, because as I've said to you earlier, I'm going to recondition these and show you exactly how they're done and how it all works. So that is holding that piston, and then I can push that over. So that's going to give me some like space. I mean, it's free now. I can take it off. But what it is, if you didn't, that one would push the thing, and that one, and you're just losing fluid. But they're out far enough now, and I'll be able to push them out with airline with a bit of luck, because they don't want to go back. That's the issue. So it's obviously issue seal and something inside caliper, which we'll show you how to deal with. So it's just a starter for you to get you. Like, well, I'm just getting video going, and then I'll just keep adding and adding on till I've made a bit of a series through braking system, pointers, what you need to do, what you don't need to do, and it just shows you what goes off when you can recommission them properly. To be honest, I thought they might have come alive, but I'm probably being a bit lucky at 50 years since it's last been on road, so, but I obviously weren't that lucky. But this side, like I said, seized up, so other side's going to eventually seize up. It's all going to cause problems, so we'll rectify it, put these on, recon these, then we'll swap back again. They'll go on to another Mach 4, but it'll get done, and then we'll just keep going around in a circle, and you'll just keep seeing them get put to life. I mean, you can see with this one, if you look under here, you can see condition on it. I mean, this car's probably the oldest Mach 4 there's about, but it's just like brand new. But I want to keep it like new, so I do want to recon these and fit them back to the car. But so we'll bring you back in shortly when we're doing a bit more. Right. Fetching you all back in, and that's calipers on. I mean, like I've said, I'm going to put these on, I'm going to refurb others, and then put its originals back on it, but I'll use these because cars are going to start coming through, and I want to decide what I'm doing with them and what I'm not doing with them, and so they'll all be got through. So somewhere down the line, they'll end up stopping on something, or even a swap forward and refurb. But this side what seized one, but when we look at calipers here, the actual seized one, rubbers were intact, and the one that were working, pretty realistic, well, they were working, but rubbers are absolutely bricklers out, they've just fell apart, so they needed to come off. You know, they were going to be problematic, you were never going to get away with it, but I pushed my luck, I've nearly done my 100 miles, so I'd have risked, I think you'd have got it back from somewhere, so right, I'll get it. I've bled them on gravity, so I've got fluid through to bleed nipples purely on gravity, and then I'll have a feel at pedal and see what's going off, and we'll take it from there. So to bleed them up, and then we'll get wheels back on, and I'll get on back ones. So I'll get that added to it and all. So I'll put it all together, and then we're going to refurb all these. So you're going to see them on bench, what you do, what you don't do. So you'll have to just learn from that. Catch you up in a bit. Right, everybody, we moved up back now. So we've obviously got car in air. Jack's not really doing a lot. The car's sat on 2 axle stands again. So it's very, very important. And also another thing, you're working with old pads in these calipers, so mash your sen up and make sure you're protected. The old stuff can have asbestos in, so you've got to watch what you're doing. So right, we fetch you here. I'll just shift that Allen key, you don't need to see that as yet. So right, disconnect your handbrake off. So take that out of your way. Under this nut, just edge it back slightly. That'll give access to this here, which what it is this. Now, I'll be honest with you, that's like just a sleeve that goes off at top. I don't know why Ford really did this, but they'll come off. Sometimes you'll get them off with an inch. But to be honest, I find that a 15/16 tapped on tight will pull them out. So all that does, it just unwinds, it's a plug. And then that reveals this Allen key, which is a 1/4, which goes in here, because everybody gets in a rate flap over these. I'll get it in. Right, that's just it. That'll just steady it, as you can see there. So right, to undo all your nuts, you've some little tabs on these. Drop them, they're 7/16. Drop them, they're 1/2 inch. And then just loosen your pads off. You don't have to take them out now, because you're taking your caliper off. Now, then come round here. Obviously, get your brake line out. And then you've got, and what is it there? A 9/16. So is it a 9/16? Sorry. Yeah, it's a 9/16. So that one, to crack that, you'll probably need a bar like this. Then obviously once you've got it, you can get a little ratchet there. Once it's moving, it'll move. And then you just lower your pin and it's off. So, and then it's practically a reverse of it to put it on, but you have to set your... Well, I'll sort it all out with you. I'll go through it a bit more detail. So that's just keeping you in loop and keeping you up to speed what's going on. So I'll pull you in a bit when I've got them off and built up, and we'll get you a bit further. But you're going to see these refurbished anyway with front ones. So a bit more interesting when we drop one, take one to pieces. So, well, I'll see you shortly anyway. Just pulled you back in because of this. I've just removed this caliper, so I want you to see this, because obviously here's your pin. Now your pin goes in the top and down, and then this is your bottom when you've taken it off. Obviously you can hold that with your Allen key, but you'll find that these tend to get tight in here. Now you'll see a thread, because obviously you've taken your protective nut off the top and your spring that keeps the tension on. So what that does, that makes sure that's like tensioned up when you're tightening up. Well, it's just to keep it in position really. It's just to keep everything right and tension on, so it's not going to undo. So when you're lifting this up, it will be quite a bit down and it'll seem tight. Now, just keep using your Allen key. And I mean, it's not held with a thread, but like you can see how it's dropped in there. But it will come up, or just be careful to tap it up that way, front bottom. But watch your thread, because obviously that comes out of your bottom. That's got your seals, and when we reverse it, we'll have cleaned all these up, and everything will be ship shape. So I'm just showing you that. Like I say, you can see it thread there. So just gently tap it up, or just, to be honest, you'll find with a lot of them, they'll just wind the sen up the thread. They're not really doing a lot, but it will pull it out, and then eventually you'll get it loose enough. Because some of them can be in a lot worse state than this. I mean, these are really excellent, to be honest. Well, car's excellent, full stop. But this one's been in rock climate all its life, so... I'll pull you back in shortly when we've moved a bit further on. Just pulling you back in, because I've had enough today, so... Everything's ready. I've obviously built these up. I've got some new pads. So we'll build them up tomorrow. I've got all holding plates and everything, what they have. They're all sat in, all in that bit of brake cleaner. Just cleaning them up. They'll sit overnight them, and it'll just clean them seals up. And we'll just make sure they're right. I mean, obviously, all my bits are just on this magnet tray. And other sides there. So I'll pull you in tomorrow and build them up. I'll get it set up on a bench so you can see. And these are what we're going to refurb, which will go back on this car. And then the ones that I put on here, I know the new ones. Some people think, why don't you leave them on? But then I'll move them onto another car, and process will all start again. So, I mean, I'm hoping I'm learning you something about these cars, because it was always my ambition to keep these cars going and on road, and I hope that's what I'm doing for you. So, I'll pull you back in when I'm building up. Right, everybody, I've brought you back in. I'm building these pads up now. These back calipers up, but I'm just wanting a couple of pointers for you. See, on your inner pad here, these guides that hold your inner padding, this wants to be as smooth as it can sliding in and out. It wants to be all right. It don't want to be sticking, because that causes all the problems that they need to be smooth. So what I find I do, I just knock the edge off the guides, just put file down them, and then everything's sweet. And another thing that I do, that I'm going to show you, because these are important, is just you guide it back there, that your pad goes over, right? Now on that needs to make sure you're clearing, so that, because sometimes you build up rubbish down there, so clear it off, and then make sure that slides over that now. And sometimes if it's a bit tight, just get a bit of a tap with a chisel or something to knock it down. But they need to be moving nice. If you have them, so they're notching, ratcheting, messing about, well, you're going to have problems. And obviously your pins want to be fully clean round here, and your bottom, these have been soaking in brake cleaner. And then here, obviously some, copper slip on them when I build them back up now. What these will do now, these will go back in car, they'll swing in. I'll put this pad in once I swing in, and then I'll set my handbrake up, because you've got to set your handbrake up first on these before you do anything, and then it'll obviously they'll be bleeded off. So I'm just fetching in, because these bits here, like I say, take the edge off them. They're done here. You can see them. You can see where I've done them. Right? You do not want any resistance. You want them running smooth, and then you don't get seizing back calipers. The job does exactly what it's supposed to do, which is work. So just a pointer, and it's an important thing. So just watch. And another thing when you're building these, when you do it back calipers on one of these, if there's any garbage in your head, get it out of your head and just sit back, chill, and do them. Because you don't want to be stressed out when you're doing these, because you've got to just make sure everything's so-so. So I'll pull you back in a bit when I've got them on. Right, everybody, I'm fetching you back in now, and it's a bit important, this bit, if you're working on these things and back brakes. So we're all done. Everything's sorted. Handbrake's done. The bled up. Well, they're working. Everything's doing what it should do. For them who noticed in video, I had put my mounting plates in wrong way around, so I swapped them anyway, so that's resolved. But right, what you've got to do with these when they go in, I mean, I always, like I say, I put that pad in, pull them over, and then I drop this pad in. So but you must, as you can see here, I've adjusted this. You must adjust your handbrake arms, because some other side were fine, but this side, it's just how the calipers are put together, and probably arms that get older, they might vary over years, but that must be getting an absolute full reach when you pull your handbrake on. If that has to be turned, so it's round here onto this bolt here, well, that's no good, because it will not come back and readjust itself. So eventually you'll lose this side. So that's 100% important. You must always have your handbrake sorted before you do anything with your hydraulics. So handbrake done. Once you've got it on, make sure that full stretch on both sides. Other side, like I'll show you, other side. The other side's absolutely bang on, but it's probably just slightly a different adjuster. You know, I ain't going to lie to you, but you can see what I'm referring to. So then handbrake, pull it on, come round, check it's working. And to be honest, if you get your handbrake, half a dozen pulls on and off, you'll probably feel it tightening up, because it will tighten up. They do self-adjust. They do what they do. They do what they're supposed to do, these calipers, if you install them properly. And then, well, all I've done now, obviously I've just got pipes clamped up here. So that wasn't a problem. I mean, they're new flexes that I put in there when I've been messing with it earlier. Obviously not this, but another go. And so I know it flexes the sound, so I know I come round then. All I've done, I've dropped bleed nipple, got fluid, done it on gravity. I mean, yeah, you all bleed your brakes. There's a million ways. I mean, you can put an easy bleed on. I use vacuum bleeders, but I know with this, I've dropped it down here, then gone in, got a pedal, I've gone at floor, come back up a couple of times, couple of pump, lovely pedal, come back out, just drop check, I've got nowhere, and I'm sorted. So, but they're all done. That's it now. So, next port of call for you will be when I'm rebuilding them, and then I'll show you how I can go on with your old calipers if that's the route you're going down. So. That's it for now on brake rebuild, because obviously you're not going to show you it tyres on. Obviously you'll see it drive down road. So give us a like you like this video. Probably been a bit long and a bit drawn out, but it's telling you ins and outs of sorting brakes out right on a Mach 4. And subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this car, because obviously it's going more and more to life. And pass a comment, I'll come back to you. So thanks for watching, everybody. Take care and bye for now.